Okay, we're here. We had a few technical difficulties.
Yeah, we had a whole lot of difficulties.
We gonna make it do. Look. We on a man's time. Look, we in Lewisburg, North Carolina. We want to thank Mr. Lawrence
Tickle.
LT.
LT. Okay,
We go with LT.
Attorney LT.
Or just Tickle.
We normally get started off with our signature shot, but not this time. We got a little further to drive.
Yeah. We're about, what, an hour and a half away from home?
Yeah, so we're going to start a little different. Let this LT introduce himself. A little bit about yourself.
My name is Lawrence Tickle. Am I good? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
We can
hear you, man. We can hear you.
I'm from the Ville, Reedsville. Played football with Chad.
Right.
He
Grew
didn't
up in
really play, but go
Reedsville.
ahead.
I mean, either, apparently. And then, grew up in Reedsville. Got out, went to the Marine Corps. Met my wife. Moved to Lewisburg after law school. And just been.
So
doing
where'd you
my
go to law
thing here.
school?
Campbell,
You went to Campbell.
Campbell University.
Before Campbell, you went to
East Carolina.
East Carolina. Okay.
And before that, Marine Corps.
Okay. So right now we're in your law office, your practice. Is this you and your wife's practice? Is that right?
Yes, I have to say that.
Okay.
Okay.
I started it, and then she finished it.
What made you get into law? I mean, why be a lawyer?
Well, y'all from Reedsville, I want to get out. I want to do something.
Right.
And I was like, I either want to be a doctor or a lawyer. But doctors, you got to go to school for like 25 years and
Right.
know them words.
Right.
I figure if I was a lawyer, if I couldn't find a job, I could make a job right out of law school.
That's very true.
That's what I did.
You start your own practice.
I have no idea what I'm doing. I do now. But
I'm about to say.
7 years. 7 years ago, I opened my own shop. Didn't know nothing about it. All I do was like contracts and yada. I filed a complaint in the case that already existed.
Right.
The judge said, "Why'd you file a complaint in a case that already existed?" Oh, that's what I thought you're supposed to do.
You got that wing in it.
You just got out of law school. You should know more law. It's the procedures, Judge. Procedure right there. The procedures. Judge.
Right.
Okay.
So what is your expertise?
I don't have any expertise.
No expertise.
The bar doesn't let you claim to be an expert on
Okay.
anything. You can specialize in stuff,
Okay.
but I'm not specializing in anything because you limit yourself, and in a small town like this, you got to be able to do a lot of
Sure.
Be versatile.
stuff.
So not really a focal point. You do a.
I focus.
Oh, okay. There we
Here
go.
we go.
Semantics.
So we got to ask the right words. Okay.
Yeah,
Use the right word. Okay. What are we focusing
I
on?
focus in family law and criminal law, and I do a little bit of firearm restoration, felony restoration rights, and I do teen court. I'm the judge for teen court, and I mentor some of the
You
kids.
say you're the judge for teen court? Oh, okay. I didn't
My
realize.
sister was on teen court.
What was she doing? Like robbing folks?
Well, you could be
Robbing folks.
You could be
On
in
teen
teen court
I don't know what
as
you
like the lawyers.
Robbing folks. That's the first thing that comes in your ignorant ass mind is robbing folks.
Well, when I look at the Smith family,
Boy, you don't see nothing about robbing
He
nobody.
didn't,
I'm
he
just
didn't deny
kidding.
it.
He
He
didn't
didn't
know.
say no. He
I
just,
definitely denied
she
it.
probably took the hit for him.
I definitely denied it. But if your baby daddy ain't shit, this is the man for you, right?
Oh my God! Now, do you practice? I mean, I know you're stationed here in Lewisburg, but are you?
I'm not in the Marine Corps anymore. I live here.
You live.
Okay. No,
I ain't
Stationed
stationed.
here.
I
Stationed
chose to
here.
live here.
So, I mean, are you in Guilford County much? Are you?
No, sir. I just do Franklin County. I
Okay.
got a little. I went. I used to be serving the Triangle and beyond, but kind of since I got the kids now and time is of the essence, I just
Right.
wrapping up some out of county stuff. But I'm saying I ain't going out of county.
I know that's right.
So we're gonna dive into a little bit here. We wanna get your knowledge, maybe to us and some people that's watching and people who's tuning in, that sort of follow our podcast. We want to know, some do's and don'ts. So what to do during a traffic stop and things to look out for. Hopefully we're gonna grab learn some tricks with law enforcement may pull on people who may be uneducated when it comes to the justice system. First, I guess I would ask you, how much faith do you have in our current justice system? I know that's a broad question, but do you feel like the justice system is working for the greater good of the people right now, or do you feel like it's some reform that should happen? Or
Well, here's the thing. our justice system, you mean the judicial system,
System. Yes.
is funded based on how many people participate in the system.
Okay.
Which means how many people are arrested, charged,
Mm-hmm.
given tickets,
Yep.
cited.
Right.
So when the system is relying on customers who are forced to participate, you kind of, it's a circular logic. You're going to keep shoving people in and then getting backed up. And then, we got to get, when you get a ticket, every single penny of that ticket, when you pay it, so you get a speeding ticket, every single dollar is allocated to go somewhere. To the State Highway Patrol Fund, to the school board, to the general justice of the court system, to the clerk's office, this part of the state, this part of the retirement plan.
Is that a percentage of each ticket, or is that like
It's
like
broken
quarterly?
down by
Each
dollar.
ticket
Oh,
is
okay.
going to those places.
I got you.
It says like this amount,
Right.
$3 goes here, $4 goes here,
Right.
$25 goes here. A lot of it goes to the schools, which is good. I mean, that's constitutional, our state constitution. But I mean, we need more money. We can't. I ran for judge a couple of years ago, and my whole thing was we need to take more time with people. And
Right.
what is wrong with you? What is going on with you, man? You're 18 years old and out here slinging dope. What's it? Well, they can't do it because there's not enough money, not enough time. They just keep shoving people in, and people that I say there are a lot of people that do play a role that want to see things change, but
Sure.
but there's a lot of people that are customers of the justice system who really are just repeat offenders. And
I like that you said that, or it's the way you put it, like customers of the justice system, like because we all see that like during certain times. I think most like citizens we see like during like holidays and things of that nature. We talk about the police out. They got to get their quota. They got to get their quota. They got to meet their quota, or they got to get their quota.
there isn't a
Is
quota.
that true? So that's another.
My
false.
understanding is there's not a quota. That's
Right.
like you have to get, but it's understood that the money that's coming
Of
to
course,
if you
to your
don't.
paycheck is
Right.
based on
Exactly.
stopping people. In
Right.
that.
Right.
True.
But I mean, on the other hand, I mean, I don't like kids that go 71 miles per hour.
No,
Right.
true.
Of course.
I mean, you're breaking the law. You're breaking the law.
Right.
But I don't know if it's a one-off. But we just have this thing, and I know I have like you see them doing, and don't get me wrong. I understand that during the holidays is more traffic, probably more traveling and things of that.
Yeah.
You also have to watch out. People probably is partying.
But they sitting, bro.
I mean, yeah, for sure.
With the gun out, just getting them. They could go down the highway, tagging them.
Right at Christmas time, all your holidays, they sitting
Well,
out waiting.
Way to get that money.
Well, I like it. I like that they're there. I'd
Right.
rather them sit there and slow people down, than go after the big fish. If you going 95 down the highway,
Right, I
this
get
is
it.
ludicrous.
Yeah, most definitely.
That's
You know,
reckless.
Reckless
yeah,
danger.
yeah, that's reckless.
So let's kind of start there then. So when it comes to traffic stops, your general traffic stops, like what are some things that you could kind of help those? And again, I don't want you to give them.
So let's give them a scenario. I'm a young black male, late at night, I get pulled over by the cops. What should I do?
First thing you need to know is you cannot win your case on the side of the road. You can die on the side of the road,
Right.
but you cannot win your case on the side of the road.
Right. Okay.
That officer, it don't feel right because they might be racial profiling. They
Right.
might be just fishing because you fit the description of
Sure.
their ideal stop because they're fishing for something bigger, whether it's a 10 violation or your license tag's out. They want to get a stop, then they want to go from there. They want to smell some marijuana, maybe get in your vehicle and search. But on the side of the road, you do not win your case there. You win your case in court. You're polite. Hands at 2 and 4, 2 and 4, 2 and 10.
Just hands on standing red period.
This is how I do it. All right. Pull it over. Pull light on. No moving at all. Light on so they can see. They got a high anxiety.
Right.
They don't want to die either.
Right.
Hands at 10 and 2. You're not reaching. You're not grabbing.
Sure.
You're not reaching for your registration.
Right.
You're sitting there. Roll your window down. If you've been smoking marijuana in the vehicle, it's going to come out.
Right.
Just don't do that. If you're going to drive down the road with marijuana, don't drive down the road with a whole lot of weed. You know what I mean?
Right. Makes a lot of sense.
Be weed free when you drive.
Right.
Yeah.
Keep it to, less than a half ounce. That's a class 3 misdemeanor. You're just going to pay a fine. You're going to roll out.
Right.
So, if you're going to risk it, take a low risk. 10 and 2, officer, hey, license and registration. Do you know how fast you're going? So, officer, my license is in my back pocket. My registration's in my glove box. May I retrieve them? Sure. Slowly, hands, nothing sudden.
Right.
License, registration, slowly,
Right.
registration. Pull it out, give it to them. Now, they ask you a couple questions. They ask you how fast you know how fast you're going, and they ask you to do some stuff. That is to look for intoxication. It's called divided attention. They're asking you to do several different things at once, see how you handle it and organize it. First off, you're going to be nervous. Who's not nervous? I'm
Right.
Oh, why you look so nervous? Because
It's the
It's the police.
Right, it's the police. That's right.
And when I get pulled over, I'm nervous, man. And what you're doing is you're taking it one step at a time. First your license, then your registration. The reason you haven't moved is because you want to be able to show him that you're going to comply.
Okay.
You're gonna let his anxiety is going to go down a little bit. He's going to treat you a little better because he's like, okay, this person never caused me any problem.
He or she.
Sure.
Yeah, hey.
Z. So you've shown them that you're slowly moving, you're complying with the request. Then the answer to the question is, do you know how fast you're going? Sure. That's it. You stop right there. Now they're going to say, well, how fast were you going? I prefer not to answer that question. How fast do you think I was going? You're not going to admit to the speed, whatever it is. Yeah. Well, you just say the least amount possible. Sure.
That's what one of my questions was. Do you actually should you be giving them information?
You're only obligated.
It's like you're self-indicting yourself.
But what if you got concealed carry?
If you have concealed carry, you have to let them know immediately that you're licensed to carry a concealed weapon and that you have a weapon.
You have to let them know that.
And if you took the class, you know that. That's
Right.
mandatory that you tell them that.
Okay, say if I get pulled over and I know I'm drunk. I know that I've been drinking. I know that I will blow. What should I do in that situation?
Can I refuse?
First off, don't drive drunk.
Right.
Okay. Definitely.
All right, that's gonna save you a lot of money. Call Uber. You know what I mean?
Right.
$12-15 ride.
But just in case, just for people that don't know.
If you get drunk and then you lose your judgment,
right?
The only thing you're required to do is blow at the station. That's the only thing that you're required to do. And if you don't do that, it's not a crime. They take your license for a year. But everything they ask you to do, from the time they stop you to the time that they ask you to blow, is they're building a case against you.
Of course.
Once they decided to have you do roadside tests, you're going to be arrested. They might make you sound like, well, let me just see. I need to see and see if you are impaired. Right. Oh, they already think that you're impaired.
But you have the right to refuse all those tests.
You can refuse everything.
Right.
There's no repercussions to do of refusing anything except the blow at the station.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only one.
So I have to blow at the station.
You do. That's the only one that gives you a consequence. And the consequence of that is, if you don't blow, they take your license for a year.
But I don't go to jail.
You're still going to get arrested, but there's no evidence against you in court. The only evidence is your driving or your slurred speech.
At what point should we contact you?
When they arrest you, they're going to ask you, once you get to the station, they're going to go through a few forms provided by the state. And one of them is you have the right to have a witness present.
Okay.
To witness. Now, I would never advise you to have your lawyer witness you, because then if you need a witness, you have to hire another lawyer. Have a friend.
Right.
Have a friend or someone come and view and just know the stuff that I'm going to tell you. I guess they can see me from the stuff that I'm going to tell you. Just know this in your mind in general, but have a witness there. There's a few reasons. If you're driving drunk, first off, again, don't do that. But if you're buzzed, so you're close, maybe you're at a 0.07, 0.08, 0.09.
Right.
They have to wait. If you call a witness, even if the witness can't make it there in 30 minutes, they have to wait 30 minutes. So it gives your body a little time to metabolize some of it. So the goal would be that trying to get down to
So without a doubt, at least you should call a witness.
Yes.
And
as many as you can.
Yeah. Okay.
For the whole 30 minutes. Because they have to wait 30 minutes for the person to get there. Even if they can't be there in 30 minutes, they have to wait.
I never heard that before, so I never
been either.
Definitely something new.
Now, is that different from county to county or state to state?
Statewide law.
That's statewide law.
Department of Health and Human Services and the state regulations.
Okay.
Because you have a right, so it's called a no defense, you have a right to collect evidence for yourself.
Gotcha. Okay.
So
that makes sense.
It makes more sense in DWI cases than other cases, but you can have witnesses come so that you can present a defense later. This didn't happen. It's not your word versus the officers. It's your witness's word versus the officer's versus my word.
Gotcha. Okay. So you just added more people to the equation.
And you have the right to go to hire your own professional to do a blood test or a breath test too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's say you get pulled over. I'm not saying how you have this large amount of money on
let's
you.
finish the DWIs
Okay.
first, then we'll get to that.
All right.
We'll get,
Okay. Yeah, no doubt. Okay.
JaMar want to make sure he keep his bag.
there's 4 tests on the roadside they're going to want to do. Don't do any of them. But they're going to horizontal gaze and stagnus. They're going to go like this. They're going to look at the light, look at my finger. They're looking for your eyes to start jiggling.
Yeah, I see those on TV all the time.
Right. So if your eyes start jiggling before 45 degrees, so that's about right here.
Yeah.
Your eyes start jerking back and forth, unless you have a nystagmus or you have an eye issue. That's the number 2 most accurate way of telling someone's impaired of a 0.08 or more, and this, it's been verified by the Department of Health Human Services and NHTSA, National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Okay.
I'm doing it on myself.
So there's that. Then they want to do the walk and turn, and they're going to want to do the one nose to finger and one leg stand. Don't do any of them, but those are the 4 they're going to want to do roadside. And again, if you're doing them, they're saying do these, you're going to be arrested. That you're not going to win your case on the roadside.
Right.
You're just building a case against yourself, and I'm going to be like,
Right.
So
I
all,
gotta do this again.
so really, all they're doing is collecting evidence, and all you're doing is helping them.
all right. And if you come to me afterwards, I'm gonna say, well, I don't think you can win this case, so pay me the plea, and we'll work out a low sentence and let you walk you through the steps. You come to me, and I'm like, okay, well, you did everything right. You might lose your license for a year, but let's have a trial. They have no evidence except for the fact that you were driving slow or swerving.
Right.
And I think everybody swerves at some point, even sober.
And don't talk. Stop talking. Don't talk to the cops.
Right.
Don't tell them I was drinking.
Yeah.
Don't tell them I had 4 drinks.
Yeah.
Don't tell them I drunk last night.
So if they pull you over and they're asking, have you been drinking? Should you just say,
I plead the 5th.
I plead the 5th.
Plead the 5th.
I don't have to ask for a lawyer at that point. Just I plead the 5th.
I plead the 5th.
That's what you should respond with.
I don't answer questions. I don't answer questions. So I'm sorry. I plead the 5th.
Now let me ask you
They're
a
gonna
question.
press you. They're gonna press you.
I was gonna
They're gonna
say
keep
that.
coming back to
Right.
you.
Of
They're gonna
course.
keep
Yes.
saying, "Oh man, come on! I'm trying to help you out here. You don't you want to get home? Don't you want to get home? Answer my questions. We'll have you home as soon as we can.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Right.
Come on. It was just a little bit, wasn't it? They're just gonna keep pressuring you.
You got to play
You
the
don't
long
have
game.
the right to an attorney until you're in cuffs. State law, the case law says either you're in cuffs and under arrest, or the circumstances surrounding your custody is about the same as an arrest. So either you have handcuffs on and you're formally arrested, or can I leave? But I'm sitting here and you guys are cops.
Right.
The door's right there and the only exit, and I'm like, can I leave? And they're like, no.
So you're under
That's
arrest.
just that I would be in custody for Miranda rights.
Okay.
Anything I say to a question before then, not in custody, not under the arrest, is admissible in court.
Okay.
So they're going to hold you out of custody. They're not going to arrest you until they have.
So they detain you.
You're detained, but that's not the same as a custodial interrogation. Your freedom of movement has been seized. You've been seized,
Okay.
but your statements can still be used against you in court.
They kind of sound or feel very
Horrible.
similar.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, you
So
know.
they're going to just ask you questions and try to get as much out of you as possible until they arrest you. Once they arrest you, then they have to read you your Miranda rights. The best cases I win are the ones where there's issues with Miranda rights, and you hadn't said anything
Mhm.
damning until you've been arrested. Those are the easier ones to win.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, that's good stuff because I think a lot of us, like I think we all been pulled over at times and things of that nature.
Right.
But I always been taught, and I teach my daughter who's driving. I always say, especially if you're just find a well lit gas station or well lit area, put your hazardous lights
That's
on. And even if you got a little while to drive, call 911 and just let them know, hey,
Sure.
I got license. And it's just something I was taught at a younger age.
That's what I do.
And just let them know, like I'm not evading the police. I'm not running. I'm trying to get somewhere where they can see me and I can see them.
Right.
And then that way we can kind of take it from there. So
One last thing. They cannot search your car unless they have probable cause.
Yeah,
What
but
is
that's so
probable cause?
easy to get.
But what is probable cause?
Probable cause is so easy to get. All they
But
gotta say
don't-
is I smell marijuana. That's it.
Don't consent. let me figure it out later.
Okay.
Let
But-
your lawyer figure it out. If you consent, I mean, I cannot argue anything.
So when you say don't consent, so when you tell a police officer that I do not consent to the search,
Well, you ain't gonna talk like that. Hey, can I ask me?
No,
ask me to search my car.
no,
Ask me, can you search my car?
can I search your car?
No.
All right, but and if they decide to do it anyway,
Here's what they're gonna say. Well, I'm gonna get a warrant.
all right,
Well, okay. Go get,
Oh, I'm gonna bring the dog. That's happened to me.
go get the dog.
I'm gonna bring the dog. Look, true story. The dog goes around my car several times with me sitting inside, right?
Yeah.
The cop says that he hit on an illegal substance in my car. Car was brand new. I had it a month at the time. I think I had a Maxim at the time.
that don't mean you have anything
Right.
illegal with it.
Right.
Old car, new car.
But the dog sits down, so that says that
They
he
marked it.
Yeah, that he hit on my car. They go through my car, find nothing, and give me a seatbelt ticket.
They had to give you something. They feel like.
Well, so, two things. First off, studies have shown that canines want to please their handler.
That's right.
Okay.
So, they know that the handler, the police officer in roadside searches, wants to find something. So they're gonna sometimes just please them. Yes, I found it. It's in there.
Yeah.
The same studies studied dogs that smell explosives, like for landmines. They don't find as many landmines, and they are more accurate because they know they sense that the handler doesn't want to find a landmine.
Okay.
So canines is pretty intelligent.
So they
Right.
kind of feed off the energy. They want to please, right? Dogs want
Right.
to please. So, the opposite. If the handler doesn't want to find it, then it's more accurate to find things when it doesn't have to. Only when it's forced to. The second thing is, this is fairly recent, past 10 years, that case law has come out across the country that an officer cannot extend a stop for longer than the original purpose. So you get pulled over for a seatbelt, right? They can, while they're waiting for your information to come back, and before they come, they can radio, for whatever reason, I don't know why they'd want to call for a black guy driving the drug dog for a seatbelt ticket.
Right.
Where they call, and they're driving a new car, whatever reason, they're going to bring the dog. They can call and radio over, hey, send the canine over if they don't have one. If they have one, it's pretty simple, But once they can only detain you for a reasonable amount of time, only long enough to effectuate the purpose of the stop. So they pull you over for a seatbelt. They run your stuff. They give you, say they wait 20, 30 minutes, the canine hasn't come, they give you back your ticket, your license. At that point, the stop's over. They can't make you wait longer for a dog to show up. They can't hold your stuff longer than they need to give you the ticket.
But they do.
But they
Yeah.
do, and if you want to fight, and say they found drugs, they violated that, they found drugs, they, argument to suppress that issue, they violate your rights, and sure, he had drugs on him, but you know what, the officer broke the law, and he's going to walk because it's fruit of the poisonous tree. You violated his rights before you got there, you cheated, you
But
tried
that's
to
something
end
you
the
gotta
life.
prove at that point.
That's a defense, motion to suppress, but if the search is illegal, everything they could find a dead body in there. The search was unlawful.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing to be done.
So how should we handle like cell phone use? Like people who get pulled over. Is that something you should be recording? Do you recommend people don't record? What should you do if you have a cell phone on you? Is that us protecting ourselves?
Do you recommend it?
I do.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't know what's gonna happen. Don't be. Where's my phone? Don't be like, you're on camera.
Yeah. So kind of do it subtly, just
Yeah.
sit it in the corner.
Sure. The best thing to do is catch them candid. Make sure they're doing it about. If they're on camera, they're gonna, be on their feet.
Are you
Now, can
obligated to tell them that they're being recorded?
You don't have to.
Okay.
Now, can they force you to stop the recording?
Well, yes and no. They can, because they're the law on the side of the road. And you can't win your case on the side of the road, but you can lose your life on the side of the road. So if they forcefully say put you under arrest and because you won't, you comply. Take me.
Sure. But that's not
you're
illegal. It's not illegal to be recording them.
No, it's not.
Okay.
Because
what I was
they
thinking.
record you.
Right.
Yeah,
You're
Why
You're,
you
you're
can't-
audio and video recorded when you're pulled over.
Should be.
Anywhere that you have a
Why
right
they can't
to
do
be
the
that's
turned
public,
off? Yeah.
you can record.
Okay.
You cannot record conversations without being a part of the conversation.
Okay.
So if the cops pulled over someone else and you walked up and you're just recording their conversation,
That's
highly
illegal.
unlikely. you're eavesdropping. You can't record other people's conversations. You have to be a member to the conversation. So.
Gotcha. Okay.
So.
I forgot what it was called, but I think you were about to hint around it about.
Yeah, if possible, you get pulled over. You got a large amount of cash or it's anything that's valuable in there. Cops come and reach and take it.
Civil asset forfeiture.
That's it.
So
Is that legal?
Say it one more time.
civil asset forfeiture.
Civil asset forfeiture.
So they can just come in and just grab it.
It's a tool that law enforcement uses to seize your money without charging you.
So they take my stuff with no charge whatsoever.
Essentially, there are companies, private companies, that train law enforcement agencies on how to do this, to get the most money, because the money goes and then comes back. Part of it is returned into the law enforcement's budget. So, say JaMar, right? Is her name?
Yes, sir.
JaMar. So I pull you over.
Right.
Hey, how you doing this afternoon, sir? The reason I pulled you is you were speeding a little too fast back there, but don't worry about it. Well, why I got you here? Do you have any bombs, hiding any terrorists, any amounts of cash on you right now? I mean, your first thought's like, oh, any terrorists, and I don't have any bombs. I do have some cash. Got $2,000, man. Okay, well, I need you to step out the car. I smell marijuana.
Huh.
All the cop has to do is link the selling of drugs or the use of drugs for the purpose of selling to the cash.
Mm-hmm.
As fragile as that might be, the link may be, they're going to seize it. They don't have to even charge you. Usually they'll pull you out and I'm going to arrest you, I'm going to charge you unless you sign this forfeiture. Give me the money.
That sounds like such a great.
Wow.
It's
So that is due. Like,
that is
that's
crazy,
tough.
man.
It's stealing.
That's exactly what it is.
There's no hearing. There's no
You get
trial.
bullied, man.
You don't have the right to be heard. There's no due process. You just kind of.
So it's like a secret court or a secret justice system.
It's not secret. I mean, it's just.
Wait, that was a secret to me.
Right.
I had no idea.
It's
It's
$2,000
basically
to get that fucking going.
criminalizing carrying cash. Now, I mean, there's all across the state, all across the country, instances of as a black guy in Maryland, I believe it was Maryland, he was opening a kitchen, chicken kitchen.
Right.
So he had $17,000 or so.
Oh, he was just eating chicken.
No, he was.
No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I couldn't resist.
He's going to buy a bunch
I couldn't resist.
So he's going to buy his kitchen equipment.
Okay.
Fryers and everything.
Which could be several $1,000s.
$17,000, I think, right? I mean, that's what.
Oh wow.
He had,
That's what he had on.
He was going from Maryland to DC or DC to Maryland. It was DC and Maryland. And those are the two places involved. And cops pulled him over. He was driving a box truck, and he was compliant. They asked him about cash. Well, yes, matter of fact, I do. I've got $17,000. I'm going to start my own business. I smell marijuana. They found a roach in the ashtray. Linked him to dealing drugs. Took his money. He got the money back plus some attorney's fees and $11,000. I think he walked away with $11,000 more than they took, but several years later, and he lost his business. Never.
Yeah,
got
you lose
wow.
your honest money though trying to fight a case that you're already innocent of.
That's right. You have the burden is on you.
Yeah, the burden is on you to prove.
You have to sue to get your money back. And there was a white guy in Michigan, I believe. He was traveling to California to go to college. His dad had saved some money. His dad gave him some money, about $2,500 to kind of get a place to live. And he stopped somewhere in Nevada. Same thing. Yada yada. Any cash on you? I got $2,500. I'm about to go, start college. Okay. Well, they made him forfeit his money on the side of the road. Either I'm gonna arrest you and charge you with a crime, or you're gonna give me the money. What are you gonna do?
Well, you gotta charge me.
All right.
You can't take my cash, bro.
I guess
That's what I say. You lock me up.
Charge me. You gonna take my cash? You gonna charge me?
I don't see where I don't.
Because you should beat that in court, right?
I'm not gonna tell you I got that much cash on me anyway. Like you're gonna have to find that by.
That's right.
Arrest.
But it's like
You
coming
panic.
at you in an innocent. You were nervous.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, you
It's
panic.
like a game tool or something.
There are companies that train law enforcement agencies on how to do it to maximize money. I mean, they use it. Law enforcement agencies, they use it. I mean, some of them have used them to have parties to purchase slushy machines. I mean, it's written in their budget.
Like, let me.
That's crazy.
And I don't want to put you on the spot.
And
here.
I don't know a lot of it around here in this state,
Right.
but this is more nationwide.
Right.
One lady was traveling from West Virginia to New York. She had her dad's money. He had $80,000 in a mattress in his basement. He'd just been saving. They were going to put it into a bank account, and the DEA stopped her at the gate, the airport. And they asked him, the DEA agent asked some questions, let her go. Then the local sheriff asked some questions, let her go. Then another DEA agent came in and was like, we're taking your money. You're selling drugs. So she's currently fighting that.
Wow.
So is that? I mean, we can. I mean, I know I can. I can probably point at and allude to a couple of things, but I mean, do you feel like police reform is necessary?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I think when anybody really looks at it, I think it's necessary.
Well, here's the thing. That police can mistake that the law, what the law is, as long as their mistake was reasonable.
Hold on, say it one more time.
They can be mistaken in the law. They could.
Yeah. Okay.
If they reasonably think
Right.
that you broke the law.
Right. Yeah.
And then they find drugs on you,
Then they know.
even though you didn't break the law.
Right. Then in their minds, it's triggered to like, I know you broke the law now.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, the court has said that as long as they reasonably believe you broke the law, that doesn't stop them. So, for instance, I just heard about this one today in Michigan. This went all the way to the Supreme Court and it was overturned. But the original stop for a DWI case was the cop thought the guy was speeding in a 25-mile-per-hour zone.
Mm.
Well, come to find out, the speed limit was actually 55 miles per hour. So the guy wasn't speeding. The trial court still found him guilty. They appealed it to the Court of Appeals. The Court of Appeals, whoa, you can be reasonable in mistaking that you're breaking the law, but come on, 25 versus 55 miles per hour. So the Court of Appeals of Michigan overturned it, and then the Supreme Court refused to hear it. So that was unreasonable. I don't think that you should give a police officer that much,
Power.
they can be mistaken.
Yeah.
That's a lot of power. That.
And if you go into court and you're going to testify, I watched one of the first cases, when I first started off, I'd go into court and watch just to see. And I would watch people pro se, if someone's representing themselves. I watched one guy, it was a stop sign violation, black guy, stop sign violation. And he said, well, I did travel through the stop sign. Well, here's what really happened. I stopped at the stop sign. I looked left and I looked right. But there was some bushes over here. I couldn't see traffic coming that way.
So he eases up.
So I eased up and I saw the cop. I knew it was the cop and he was way down the road. And it was safe to go and I went. Sounds reasonable to me.
Right.
He was the only one that could see that part of it. Guilty.
Wow.
Because he admitted.
No, guilty because the other officer said that he saw him run a stop sign. Because it's the officer's word versus his.
And he was just easing up.
And I have people that call and they want to,
That's
well,
all
I wasn't really speeding. If you want to have a trial, we can have a trial. You're going to lose. I mean, that's just how the system's set up. You're going to lose your trial, but I can work out a deal. If you want to go to trial, you're going to lose. I'm going to charge you more to have a trial, and you're going to lose, and it's going to hurt your insurance, and you're going to be guilty, and you're going to lose your license, or I can just work out a deal and
Go to driving school or something.
driving school, or just
Right.
You have a clean record. I mean that
Well,
part
that
is
sucks.
It sure is.
the system is set up against us. I mean,
Oh, of course. Well,
unless
I see
you
that
know,
for sure.
mean,
unless
yeah.
you know, if you're a lawyer, you
Right.
know what. It's really complicated. And they,
So
it's like they
so
require
when you
school
get
for
Speaking
that
of
or
being a
something.
lawyer, do you get treated different when you get pulled over?
I don't tell them.
You don't tell me you're a lawyer?
I have to be on. Okay, so since have been a lawyer, I've been pulled over once, and it was a friend of mine. He saw me. He's like, "Slow down."
Yeah.
Backed away. And I wasn't going that fast. I was going about 7 miles over.
See, I always heard that they give you 5 miles over. Anyway,
Yeah, it's like a little grace.
9.
it's 9.
It's the average is 9. If you're in
Okay.
the city, it's lower, but on the highway, it's 9. That's the consensus. There's nothing in writing, but my friends that are law enforcement out here, it's kind of like 9. But if you're in the city,
Unless
it's
they on
lower.
that quota trip, and they got
Yeah.
that quota.
Right.
Unless they want to pull you over.
Yeah.
Unless they want to pull you over.
That quota.
Right.
You know, because technically, if they pull you, you technically over the speed limit.
Technically, they can pull you if you're 1 mile per hour.
Yeah.
And technically, they can pull you if you're going too slow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. That's crazy. Going too slow.
Yeah.
It hit the gas a little bit. But your ass going to jail.
Old man.
I should take your ass to jail for being so slow.
That's right.
That's crazy.
But I I just do 5 miles over. No matter where I'm going, I just stick to
Yeah, I stick to 5
because
myself.
I don't want to die.
Well, you gotta catch me. I'm doing 20 over every time. No, I'm just
But,
kidding.
hey,
No, I don't.
Typically, if you can do 15 or less, I don't know about Greensboro and the court, the DA system up there, but around here in Wake County, 15 or less,
It's not careless or reckless.
it's pretty much you can get it reduced pretty good.
You know what I never understood is when, like, I hadn't had a ticket in years, but I would get a ticket. I got a ticket before, and then they reduced the speed limit on the ticket.
They reduce how fast you're going.
Yeah.
Okay, so you want to know why?
Or reduce the improper equipment.
That's something, I guess, like they're doing me a favor.
Aren't they?
I don't know.
There you go. They could take your money in your pocket.
I don't know. I mean,
They
the
could
ticket,
take your black ass to jail.
Uh,
What they
ticket-
could do.
ticket
take
is
your
a
money.
ticket.
Let's say you're doing 25 over. Let's say it was with 26.
No, well, hold on. I mean, but I wasn't doing that high.
Clarence,
Go ahead.
stop lying.
Oh,
No,
my
I
God.
wasn't. I wasn't.
You just told us
You're
you're doing
20
20.
old. Yeah.
I got a seatbelt ticket one time in the parking lot because they said my engine was on.
And you hadn't buckled up yet.
I literally backed out the parking space.
Oh, so you still moved the car?
Yeah, in the parking lot. I'm saying I hadn't even gotten
You
on the
still
road
moved
yet.
the car?
Did they
though.
search you?
No.
No.
I backed up
Without a
And-
seatbelt on.
without a seatbelt on. I
Right.
backed up out of parking space, pulled my car up, and they got behind me. I hadn't got on the road yet. I got a seatbelt ticket. It's actually the only seatbelt ticket I've ever had in my life.
Was it city police or sheriff's?
Definitely city police.
Okay.
You've been talking at that point. I mean, come on.
I don't know. I'm not saying, but
Was you in the hood?
no, I was on. I was in Eden. I don't remember the.
Yeah, he was in the project.
They were fishing.
Yeah, it had to be.
Yeah, I mean maybe so. You know,
Is that what they call it, fishing?
That's what I call it.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they,
But I'm so thankful for that ticket because I never wore my seatbelt ticket like through high school. I just thought it was cool. But 2 weeks later, I had like the worst accident of my life. That seatbelt saved my life.
Right.
I totally
I
lost
always
my car.
wear my seatbelt.
buckle up, guys.
I do it definitely. 100%.
Please buckle up.
I've been wearing it ever since, and I may have been like a freshman or sophomore in college at the time. That's when I totally lost my my little red Cavalier.
Anytime you're about to die, it changes things.
Yeah.
Right.
So
I bet you glad you lost that.
it was a $75 at the time. It was $70. I'll never forget. It was
It's
$75.
It's 180 now.
God.
But it's no points. You just paid. I mean, it's no
Yeah.
points.
God. It was $75
All
at the time.
right, that's a good question. How fast do you have to be going over the speed limit to get points on your license?
All right. It's complicated. So bear with me. So if you, first off, a conviction of 15 or more miles per hour over is automatic 30-day suspension of your driver's license.
So is that why they reduce it?
So that's why they reduce it.
Okay. So
It might be more than.
So
15.
they are doing you a favor.
It might be more than 15 miles.
Me.
Anything more than 50 miles per hour over is an automatic 30-day suspension. If your license if you don't have any points, you haven't been reinstated recently. If you are speeding in a 55 mile per hour zone or more, no matter what the speed is, it's 3 points on your license. If it's below a 55 miles per hour zone, it's 2 points on your license. So there's
And these points come off in how long?
3 years.
Okay.
From the conviction date. So you have 2 different points. You got insurance points,
Right.
and you got license points. Don't worry about your license points unless you got close to 12. If you get 12 points in 3 years, you lose your license until those points come off. So actually, I think you lose your license for a year and then you can get it reinstated. Don't do that. It's complicated. You have to go to DMV and have hearings. I can fix stuff in the courthouse if it's FTA's failure to appear. But if you say you haven't had a ticket you haven't had a conviction in 3 years, no movement violations. Maybe you had an improper equipment reduction. So there's no movement violations in the last 3 years. And you're going, 15, 20 miles per hour over. If you can get it reduced to improper equipment, that's no points on your insurance or your license. So that's good. Sometimes you're a little higher. If some places, if you had an improper equipment already, they don't want to give you another one. You're going to learn your lesson.
Right.
Well, if you get it reduced to 9 over, anything on 10 miles per hour or less, you're still going to get points on your license. But if you haven't had any moving violations in the last 3 years, there's no insurance points.
Okay, that's a lot.
So the money don't go.
Yeah.
Keep your money right.
Oh, the officer is obligated to give you a warning on your first stop.
No. They can, law enforcement can arrest you for committing any crime in the state.
Okay.
Do they track
you
your
s-
warnings?
I have heard one. They did. Because
don't
I got
know.
pulled over. The second time I got pulled over, They said they said I see you got a warning before.
There's official warnings and there's just kind of like unofficial warnings.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I probably got official.
So
warning.
official warnings, they
Yeah.
probably track there in the
If
system.
it's print, if you get a printout warning, then that's an official warning. If it's more of like just slow down.
Okay, I've received. I've received it both ways. Then I've received a printout warning. I was in Maryland. I was coming back,
Yeah.
and it's crazy because I saw the accident when I was heading into across the bridge on 301. I was heading into Maryland, and I saw the accident. 4 or 5 days later, I'm leaving, and I don't know. They said I was speeding. It was like as you get to the toll, you know, the speed goes down or whatever.
Yeah.
He got me right after. He got me coming up to the toll, and then when I got to the toll booth, he pulled me over. But he gave me an official warning because he actually gave me a slip piece of
Okay.
paper.
I've had a warning.
But I've also had it where I didn't get.
Yeah, I just had one
Yeah.
where I just slow down.
Bye. Yeah.
Right. Well, mine was the one I did. I guess was unofficial. They said I was leaving the gym one night, and they said that I didn't stop at the stop sign, and I didn't want to keep going back and forth. I was like, I clearly stopped at the stop sign, but
You probably were fishing again.
yeah,
Right.
and I probably done told this story before. I don't know if I told it on here before. But I had at the time I had an Escalade, and it was
They
night,
definitely were fishing.
and I was coming out the gym, and
Black man in Escalade? Yeah.
Yeah,
Drug
boy,
dealer.
yeah.
Lieutenant
All
Drug
right.
dealer.
but I drove. You know, well, we from Reedsville, so we know where the recreation department is, and I'm coming back.
Oh, you was in the hood too. Oh,
Yeah.
wait, so you was in the hood in the Escalade. I would have pulled your ass over too.
So you had them 20 on that time. You had them 20 on that.
You going to jail that night.
I came back around Mall Street. You know, you got that three-way
Yeah.
at Mall Street, so I stopped, and it's nobody. It's like 10 o'clock at
So
night.
they rolled the streets up in Reedsville.
It was pitch black dark.
Right.
Yeah.
I stopped, go to the light and stop, and then when I turned left on the freeway drive, so I drove up to the John Deere. That John Deere is
Yeah.
lit up. So I drove to the John Deere, and then boom, 2 more cops came.
That's why I
They're
love
bored.
living in a bigger city
Yeah, like
in Reedsville.
like
because
3 cops came just like that.
when you pass a cop late at night in Reedsville, it's one-on-one.
Yeah.
You're the only people on the street. He passed you, nobody's behind you, nobody's in front of you. You know he's coming back to get you.
Man,
Yeah.
I had my
Yeah,
bag
You know
in
what
the
I mean?
back.
Gotcha.
You like a sitting duck.
Yeah, you are.
I mean, I wasn't out there long, and it wasn't. I mean, they didn't search my vehicle or whatever. It wasn't anything like that. Where you going? Where you coming from? Whose car is this?
They
And-
just trying to see.
And then they said you got a bag in the back. I was like, wait, I
You-
just left the gym.
Polite with them. I'm sure you did probably what you tended to and
Oh yeah. I mean, for sure. Like I
yes,
said,
sir.
He asked you was you polite. Did you not hear him?
No, yeah, definitely.
I was you asked
You weren't like.
No, I'm not combative because at the end of the day, my job is to get home.
That's right.
My job is to get home. And me sitting there trying to fight with you, I'm not gonna win that argument
That's right.
there. I mean, I'm fully aware of that. But again, it's the same thing I try to teach my kids. Look, your job is to get home.
You didn't put off a vibe.
No.
You
Whatever.
didn't fit the description.
I don't know what I fit, but I made sure I got home. But that's what it was. But literally, that's what they used. That's what they said. Oh, I saw you run that stop sign back there. I don't even know where they were because I never saw them. But immediately when they pulled me
Well,
over,
how can you prove that they didn't?
boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Unless you had a GoPro or
Right.
You can't prove it.
No.
Unless you have
You
physical
just
evidence.
seen he was hiding good.
Now, do you recommend people having a camera in their car, like
Yeah.
in the dash?
I haven't got one yet, but I'm going to get one. I'm going to get you.
I can see where it would definitely be beneficial. I mean, especially when
'Cause I thought
you're
about
in the
it.
right. When you're in the right.
Yeah, I thought about it, but it could also.
Don't you get a camera and you
It
roll
could-
that
yeah,
highway
yeah.
blazing?
It gets you. Yeah, you incriminate yourself.
Yeah,
I want to get the one that keeps your speed, and the timestamp. It tells how fast you're going, but them suckers cost like $500.
Now, would those be held up in court as an official camera, like a certain cameras you have to get as far as the camera goes?
And if you're going to try in district court, I mean, there should be no reason why
It-
not.
it-
You can
it's a
just
part of your defense, right?
you just say yes, that's my camera. This is what it is.
I think they might be funny, be like, well, you don't have this certain amount of camera. We don't go
It's
by
not-
these.
I
We only
can't
go
get
by
it.
Well, I
this
mean, I
camera,
don't think there's any reason why,
brand wise.
unless the judge was not being very friendly towards you.
Right,
He should look at it and then consider it.
right.
If you say it is what it is, I mean, the judge has to take your word for it as far
Right.
as that's concerned. He can put the weight on it. He said, "Well, I don't believe it. It looks fake to me."
Right.
The
Okay.
judge should admit it and listen to it.
I got. It's funny. Someone just asked a question, but I had a question of my own for you. So personally, I asked this for we have lawyer friends as attorneys and in law enforcement as well. So I always am trying to figure out how can we move the needle Matter of fact, let me, if you don't mind, because I got a question on here. How can we move the needle more on social justice when it comes to equality and racial injustice? And just to piggyback, someone actually asked the question, and I won't say her name because my phone is not updating. I don't know what's going on. Technical difficulties again. I'm sorry, but they were asking. You know, they was like they think cops should visit more in neighborhoods that they're going to patrol, particularly in black neighborhoods, so they can have a better relationship with us. So it will.
It's called community policing.
Yeah, community policing, and obviously I wasn't around in the 60s and 70s, but it was more prevalent. But then I guess we got away from that for whatever reason. But in your opinion, do you have like, is there any resources that people that may come from like marginalized communities that they can reach out to, or programs that they can become part of to maybe help bridge the gap between law enforcement and those communities?
Except going and talking to them.
Yeah.
To the officers.
So like just kind of open up lines of communication.
And know who they are.
Right.
And meet them. Go out of your way to, hey, I'm a person.
Sure.
You're not a stat.
Right. Exactly.
I'm not a.
Right.
Exactly.
I'm not a sociotype.
Right.
I'm a person. My name is Clarence Tickle. Nice to meet you. How long have you been working here?
Being poor, being broke is not a crime.
That's right. Joke. Well, that's what I do. And the ones that I don't know, new ones that come, turnovers, sheriff's department, police.
Right.
Turnovers. Like I said, my father-in-law was a chief of police here for 20 years.
Oh, really? Okay.
And so, I'm like, am I being detained? And I give them like a wink. Half the time, they don't know me.
Right.
Especially when I'm dressed in my plain clothes and
Sure.
I see them walking in sheets now.
Right.
Am I being detained? Am I being detained? Most of them are like, you can really tell the ones who are in it. No, should you be?
Right.
Some
Right.
are like, no, am I? That's the best. No, am I? Those guys that have a good sense of humor, but there's no. Obviously, if there was a true right answer, we just do it.
Sure.
Right.
My observations.
Yeah.
I think that people I'm not a black guy, but I grew up in the black neighborhoods.
Right.
I'm a white guy. I've seen both sides. I grew up out of the ghetto, the hoods, Womack apartments, Barn Street, and,
Right.
and I live now in the country up here in Lewisburg. But it's pretty ghetto areas around here. Just
Right.
like Reedsville reminds me a little.
You're
bit.
gonna have hip hop reserves everywhere you go.
So I think that if you come from an area like that, you have to give back. You know what I mean?
I agree.
Choose a career path. I mean, if it matters to you, give it back. Put it back into the community.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Don't just go out of that. Don't leave the situation and just fend for yourself and reinvest
Mm-hmm.
into your community. So grow up and become a police officer. Make a change. Or raise your children to grow up and be part of the justice system. Or to, be outspoken.
Try to change it from within.
So
Right.
So what I do, I'm not back home. This is my home now. So I invest my time in the community as the teen court judge. I come in, mostly young black kids, young black girls, not as many white kids.
What a surprise.
And some Hispanic kids that come through. And the number one speech, and a lot of times it's to do with marijuana use or fighting or some trifling stuff. And the number one speech I give the kids is, life is already hard enough for you. And I'll tell them a little about me, where I'm from, and how I grew up, and but I'm white.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
I can put on a suit and I'm a white guy. The odds are not in your favor.
Boy, you said something right.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is, at that point, your privilege sort of kicks in.
I say I have some privilege.
Oh, okay.
You know
We
what I mean?
appreciate the honesty.
Yeah.
I'm
No
not.
doubt.
Right.
I'm not
Come
saying.
on, that shit is
I'm not
real.
saying it is. I'm not saying it that way. Here's
Really.
here's what I want.
Yeah.
I want to see people,
Yeah.
black people, people of color, make it despite white privilege.
Right.
I don't want to.
I think we've been working on it.
I don't want to see people not do it because of white privilege.
Yeah.
Don't let the white privilege
Yeah.
keep you down.
Right.
You can do it. we had a black president. It can be done.
Definitely
Use
can be
it
done.
as fear. I mean, use it as not a fear, but
Fuel.
motivation, fuel.
Yeah.
So, and I give this speech, I'm like, man, they're skipping school. The bus goes right by. We're one of the only nations in the country and in the world. You get a free education. It's guaranteed to you. Do it. You want to get out of here? You can do it. It's going to take some time.
Right.
The odds are stacked against you. You are, and then if it's a black girl, you're a girl and you're black.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I'm gonna keep it real with you.
Right.
You got an uphill battle. If you want to be, what do you want to do when you grow up? You want to be a lawyer? Don't just say that because I'm here. What is it that you really want to do? You want to be a cop? You want to be a cosmetologist? Do it. But you're not going to do it when you have a criminal record when you're 18.
Right.
When you're selling drugs when you're 18. When you're, getting in fights when you're 18. When you're 16. When you're 19. You're going to set yourself up for failure, and you're going to have to overcome those hurdles that it's already more difficult for you.
Totally agree.
Don't be your own worst enemy.
Have you experienced much of systemic racism in the justice system? Like, I know that you get a lot. Oh, well, I assume you get a lot of those cases.
What do you mean, you people?
Boy, pretty slick. Ain't it?
That's pretty good. That's usually my line.
You ain't thinking calm
No,
down.
I didn't. No, I didn't.
Without even thinking, I said it.
Right.
Right.
But that's pretty good. But yeah, like, so I guess when you have like young black and brown girls and boys, Hispanic, Latinos, sort of come through the system. Are you experiencing that's like that cycle is like being preyed upon continuously? Do you feel like that there's I know we talked a little bit about like trying to bridge the gap between law enforcement and those communities where we can learn that we're not just statistics, or they're just not statistics, but we're people, and outlets, resources, help is needed. So do you see where there's any change in that, or is it just like a revolving door?
Well, I don't see it here. I don't see a systemic racism in the court system.
Sure. Okay.
But I do see things.
Yeah.
What I see is
It's not perfect.
a system that doesn't have the funding.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the time.
Right.
To give back.
Yeah.
I'll break it down the funding. We're 5 counties. This district's 5 counties. Vance, Warren, Franklin, Granville, and Person counties. 5. That's
Oh wow.
Big.
Yeah, it is.
Guess how many district court judges we have for all 5 counties?
12.
7.
Gosh.
Wow.
So
How many
overwork.
superior court judges do we have? We have 2.
Wow. To serve all 5 counties.
Yes, and in our court, this county, we have 2 courtrooms, one for district court and one for superior court.
So the amount of
in Wake
cases.
County, they have two courthouses. It's still too small. I would have to guess that they have close to 50 courtrooms. And they have 20 or 30 judges. I mean, they still don't have enough for their population.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's a numbers game, especially with the coronavirus and the pandemic and the shutdown. It's they are dismissing a lot of trifling and minor stuff like registration tickets and stuff. So the district court attorney's office here is taking steps to kind of minimize the hit.
Right.
But I mean, it's just more of like they have to move numbers. And what I'm seeing, I wish I could say more. I tried to run for judge and I tried to, make a change, but it was political. But what I saw a 17-year-old girl, 17 or 18-year-old girl a few months ago plead guilty to a felony, like assault. I see it, and I see drugs mostly, heroin, marijuana. But I will say there's some changes that have been happening. There's a first offenders program for drugs, and it's used. I would say our district attorney's office here in this district is pretty. They're pretty reliable with it. You can't be intending to sell. Sometimes they'll work with you. They'll modify some charges if it is an intending to sell. Some drug dealing going on. If it's a young kid with no record. But if it's your first offense, that's why I don't like heroin, horrible drug. It's killing black. It was just mainly white. Now it's getting into the black community now. But it's taken over. It's hard to kick. It's a habit. It takes 2 or 3 times to kick before you can, if you're going to win. I've never seen anybody kick it once and be done. It's a relapse. Do it again. Relapse. Do it again.
Right.
Kind of like chasing that first high.
Like me and nicotine. It took 12 or 15 times to kick nicotine. But But they
Well,
give you.
I'm still trying that.
You are a felon.
Felon.
Oh yeah,
Terribly.
failing, you're just succeeding the wrong way.
Yeah, there you go. See,
That's
he
how
understands you.
say
He
it.
understands
Well,
you.
I'm gonna call it what it is.
Yeah.
Try it again.
He's a felon.
I'm succeeding the wrong way, man.
Try it again.
I got two questions.
But,
I got two
let me
questions.
finish this thought. So,
Yeah, he talk a lot.
one time, and then if you mess up on, so if you do the heroin, you have heroin and you get caught, and they, you do the first offenders program. What happens is you plead guilty. I'm guilty. I plead guilty. Yes, I have the heroin, but they don't enter judgment against you. So they don't sentence you. They don't find you guilty. You plead guilty. You go on probation for a year, supervised probation. You do it. Everything's good to go. They'll dismiss it against you. But you can only do that one time officially. But if you pop on a drug test, technically they can enter judgment against you inside of that year.
So they charge you with the heroin that you was once charged
They
with.
convict you of it. So
Right.
instead of dismissing, so I mean that's a newer thing that they've done, and they also have expanded the expunctions of individuals for crimes. We were the last state in the bless you, right?
No, just call
Was
it.
a call.
I appreciate it.
So I'll take it.
I'll take it up.
I'll take it. God, withdrawn. So they the expunctions, removing records, they've kind of expanded that so you can get more to help your record, especially if you make mistakes as young kids. That's the biggest thing of mine. My big pet peeve is kids are kids. They need
That's right.
consequences, but don't ruin their life.
Right.
Don't let a decision that you make when you're 18, because, oh Lord, I don't know if you knew everything I did when I was 18, 19
Right.
years old. Come for a reason.
Like we done some stupid stuff
I just didn't get
as
caught.
14 and 15-year-old kids. They could have probably put us in jail forever. Some people, you know what I'm saying? But I don't think that should be the be all say all.
I mean, you should have a
Right.
consequence, but it shouldn't affect your
whole
you
life.
when you're 40, man.
Right.
Yes, I can't take this job because convicted felon for something I did when I was 17 or 18.
Right.
Right.
So we're the last state to raise the age to 18. They can still a judge can still rule that you can be charged as an adult, mainly for violent crimes like murder and stuff. But they have to first officially charge you as a child, which means that it stays off your record. So that's good.
Well, even violent crimes.
If the DA's office can ask a judge to move it to adult court.
Oh, gotcha.
But if they don't, then it stays
Gotcha. Okay.
in juvenile court.
I've never seen a kid murder somebody and then not be charged as an adult. I've never seen that. Has it ever happened?
No,
Well, I guess it has. Not that I know
I
of.
was saying,
I mean, unless you're young.
Okay.
But they also held that this is fairly recent, that it's cruel and unusual punishment to convict a minor to life without parole for a crime. So
I guess that's good.
Yeah. I should have been anyway.
But don't talk to the police. Don't answer questions.
Bottom line, don't talk to
Yeah.
police.
Get a lawyer.
Check them out.
You can't help yourself.
Less is more.
So I just got two final questions, and this is something personal I was just curious about. Is there ever a case that you will refuse to take? If so, why?
Well, I'm sure there is, and there has been cases that I didn't take, and mainly because of the person,
Okay.
like their attitude.
Okay.
But I gotta make money too. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Right.
The rules.
I don't think I can take a child molester
And defend them.
Well,
and defend it.
well, okay. That's gonna lead to my second question.
Well, I can qualify that. I'm not always trying to get you off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm trying to give them the best deal.
I'm like, here's what we could do. We can go through and we can try this case, but you're guilty. And the facts are the facts. You know?
Right.
It got you red-handed.
Right.
So the next step is let me advocate for you in your judgment. Let's work with them. Let's get you some treatment, drugs, sex molesters, whatever.
Right.
Let's get you some treatment. Let's kind of mitigate any sentence you're going to get and try to help you out. Because what good is a justice system if it's not about rehabilitating people?
And I don't think it is at all. You can't go to jail and be rehabilitated.
You don't think so?
No.
You don't think some people actually the benefits?
No,
I mean,
prison.
A small percentage.
prison is not for
Rehabilitation is not.
John Dillinger, he went to prison at 16 years old as a petty criminal. Was it John Dillinger, right?
I don't know.
James Dillinger,
John Dillinger.
John Dillinger.
Yeah.
He went to prison at 16 years old as a petty theft crime, left prison as a
Serial bank
professional criminal. He learned everything about robbing banks while in prison. So I mean, here's
I think that's a whole
something
nother
use.
debate. That's a whole
Yeah, but
nother debate.
I just don't think you can be locked in a cage and be rehabilitated
Well,
like an animal.
you can if
you have programs and stuff, but they take all of that stuff.
well you have. So if you're you're sentenced, the judge sentenced you to say you got to serve an active sentence of 25 months minimum. There's a chart, the minimum. It's a whole numbers game, but say there's a chart that says 25 months minimum. The maximum might be like 49 months. So you're going to start off at 49 months. You can get down to the minimum. You can work time off. And the last 9 months are always going to be done on post-release supervision. We don't have parole anymore. Unless you were sentenced with parole, we don't have a parole board anymore except for the older cases. So now you're just going to do the last 9 months of prison on post-release, which is probation. So you start at the maximum, whatever the corresponding maximum
Say if it's 49 months, like
say
you
say the judge says minimum of 25. You're gonna start off at 49. Then you're gonna do programs. You're gonna have good behavior. You enroll in programs, so you can get credits. Like for everything you do, you get like a day or a week and a half or a day and a half. For this. I don't know the system. I've never been to prison, but I know like on paper you can work down to the minimum.
Right.
Unless your minimum sentence, like what if the 4-month minimum, 7-month maximum. Obviously you're going to do those on post-release starting out unless you violate it. Then they'll send you, but you can't work down. 3 months in 4 months.
Right.
You're going to get them.
Would you, before you take a case, do you have to know if your client is innocent or guilty, or is that something you ask for them to, provide?
Do you ask for the truth?
It depends.
Okay.
It really depends on
Because
the
my
case.
mom always told me you tell your doctor the truth and your lawyer the truth.
Here's the thing. I can't.
You got to be honest with them.
If you are going to testify and you tell me a different story than you tell the court, I can't let you do that. I ethically have to object, and I can't let you lie on the stand. So if you don't tell me, and then to me, depending on the case, it don't really matter to me, depending on our course of action. I wonder, sometimes it's like, I don't want, just let me know, or sometimes like, don't tell me, because I want to know this is my job. Because I look at it as this is my job. This is how I put food on my family's plate.
Right.
But everyone deserves representation. So I'm not, if you say you're guilty, say a heinous crime, child molester, just say I took the case because the money's there. Because I'm going to charge you a lot of money.
Right.
You probably won't be able to afford it. Because I'm just going to charge you a lot of money.
Right.
Probably $50,000,
Wow.
And I won't have a bit up front. So you're probably not going to, it's going to be a lot of work. But say I do take the case. And no one's ever paid me $50,000. So.
Okay.
I was just about to say.
coming up.
Because I'd be like,
I'm about to become a lawyer.
I'd be like, I know it's going to be a lot of money. And I give them that quote. I quoted somebody $100,000 once because I didn't want the case. It was a murder case. That was $100,000. Okay, thank you.
Right.
If I'm gonna take that, that's going to be a lot of work. So I'm gonna shut everything down. So I'm probably gonna be like 6 months. I don't get to do anything. So I'm gonna need that money.
Right.
But we were talking about if I'm gonna. So everyone has a constitutional right. The rules are not there to protect the guilty. The rules are there to protect the innocent. Guilty people get off on the rules, but I would rather have 1,000 guilty men or women go free.
Right. Then convict one
innocent
person. That's right.
I would rather 1 million guilty people go free than one innocent person be put to death.
All right. Boy, you said something right there.
I used to be pro death penalty. I'm not anymore.
Nah.
I don't think that it's right to take someone's life, and I don't think that, especially on words of all the people that are not guilty. The black man that fit the description.
It's too easy.
It's becoming more and more like.
Unless you ask for it. Unless, yes, I did it, please put me to death.
Right.
You sign the paperwork, sure. Talking about free choice,
Right. That's tough.
That's a lot.
That's tough.
That's a lot. Yeah.
Now, let's get into some child custody stuff. You do child custody stuff.
It's about the same as prison, isn't it?
Yeah, just about.
Right.
It's just about the same.
I do.
as prison.
Lord, I wouldn't know that.
Give me some do's and don'ts about. Just give me 5. Give me 5 do's, 5 don'ts about when you're going for child custody.
Well, I did that already on my podcast, on my YouTube channel, so y'all go check that out. But
Lawrence Tickle on YouTube.
Yeah.
Lawrence Tickle, and you got the 5 do's and don'ts on here, right?
I got a whopping 3 videos.
Okay, I watched all of them.
Boy's a fan.
I watched all of them for sure.
He's a fan.
I'll sign autographs.
Because I had to know. I had to know what the do's and don'ts
You
were.
got an agenda.
I got into doing 3, then the baby came. So I haven't gotten back out. This will be the first kind of podcast I've done or I'm doing something. But so 5 do's of child custody. And we talk about men or women? Because there's different things.
Let's go for
Mommy
the
or
men.
dad?
Let's go for the men.
I want to say men, but
Yeah.
I need something for the women too.
Okay, so let's just do. I'll give you it in general. 5 do's. Communicate. So that'd be 1 do. Now let's do a don't. Don't use your children as a tool, women or men.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So, do include your former baby mama, baby daddy in
There you
decision
go.
making. Yeah, don't.
Okay.
Don't make decisions without talking to them. So don't want to change schools, enroll in school. Do pay your child support. Don't argue and fight over custody for child support.
Well,
2 different courts.
I
2
disagree,
different courts.
but I disagree. I'm fighting for as much time to get as less child support as I can possibly get.
You're
I
not
can
jacked up that sound.
I'm just saying. What? So what?
No.
And this is a financial decision.
We'll come back to that in a minute.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't even want to get deep in
Clarence,
this.
you
Yeah.
remind me. So 4, do act quick. If you break up, you have romantic relationship, you're married, whatever. You break up, act quick. Don't let the other person. So this is my 4th don't. Don't let the other parent make the decision.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And the 5th don't is
5th do.
5th do.
Do.
Call a lawyer.
Gotta get that bag.
Yeah.
Well, even just to learn your rights.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Because every case is different.
True.
Every situation is different. So that was do. So 5th don't get the police involved. You know what I mean? Don't call the police. First off, that's going to be traumatic for your kids.
Yeah.
Second off, the cops. They're just like, we
Well,
can't
get
do
the phone
anything
first.
without a court order.
They have to look at court order things like that.
Right.
Okay.
So let's go back to the whole don't use your kids for child support.
Okay.
Right? First off, when the kids are with you, doesn't it cost you money?
It does.
And didn't it cost you a
But
lot
not-
more money
but
than
not
it does to
1,000.
pay the other side?
No, it don't. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Look,
Okay.
a person's kid that works at McDonald's pays $50
That's right.
a month or
That's,
whatever.
they're below the wage.
Right.
Right.
But if I make, say, double what they make, I pay quadruple of what they pay. Make it make sense.
Well,
What makes my kids more important than the McDonald's kids?
I know. You know who decided that?
Who?
The judges.
Oh, well, let's slap the shit out.
They get together and they come up with the child support guidelines
Right,
and they base it off of income.
right.
They add the income up, both parents, how many kids, how many overnights. If mom
And the magic number is what for overnight?
122,
28? 122?
122
122.
overnights.
Okay.
So if the non-custodial parent, that person doesn't get them as much.
That's when you get on that Schedule B versus the Schedule A.
There you
right?
go.
Boy, I am so lost. I have no idea what y'all
Worksheet
talking
B
about.
instead of worksheet A.
Worksheet
Well,
B instead of
B-
worksheet A.
B
Boy.
don't matter unless you go 50-50.
Right.
Because then it goes from the whole worksheet A to then it goes to how many overnight percentages you get.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So I mean, and then 50-50, you still somebody's paying child support. It might not be as much, and if you make a whole lot more than the other
Right,
parents,
right.
it'll still be a lot. But the reason I'm saying don't leverage your time with your kid for child support is because it needs to be about your kids.
Right.
And
I agree.
That's what I was saying because
a little bit.
I know. No, what I'm
Little
saying is
bit.
but then let's go back to
that
work
means you
together.
won't see your kid if you're paying more money.
The parents need to work together, and let's not figure it out.
See, this is what I tried to get done.
Don't
I
tell
said,
your
look,
personal business.
But if you go to court,
Or
if you go to
tell your
court,
No, I don't.
Put it
if
out
you
there.
go to court,
No, I don't.
in my system, if you go to court and it's just more of like it's obvious, You know, like your child support just went up, you filed a motion to modify, and ain't nothing changed
Yeah.
except your child support would just increase.
Right.
The other side's gonna be his child support got increased. That's it. They ain't gonna help you. You know, you gotta have a substantial. Do you have? Let's not talk about you. If there's a child custody order in place, that's by an agreement, or if it's by a judge. I mean, if you were to change it, you can only change it with a substantial change in circumstances affecting the well-being of minor children. It has to be something that's changed, not just something that changed with you, but something that's changed and it's affecting them. Mama became a drug dealer, or mama is a drunk driver, or daddy had a nervous breakdown and is in psych ward. That's going to affect the children. Dad got a job. Yeah, that's not a substantial change in circumstances. Dad can't afford child support. That's a substantial change in circumstances, but don't really affect the kids.
We'll be eating doodles and doodles all week.
But so if you don't have an order in place, you got to act quick. That's one of the things you have to do quickly. If you say you're together and you break up and you have one kid, just keep it simple. One kid, if you don't do anything, say me and you have a kid, right? It's legal. We can do that. We adopted a kid together, Chad.
No, we can't. But go ahead.
Well, we won't tell our
Yikes.
They don't call me Tickle.
Boy.
Ow.
So we have a kid, Chad. We'll name him Long Chad.
Okay.
And you know, I'll be courteous. You know, I'll be the taker. You can be the giver.
No, we ain't doing that, Tickle. That ain't what we doing here.
Okay, then I'll be the giver and you'll be the taker.
Just go.
We ain't doing that here.
Anyway, how it is. So you move out, right?
Right.
And I'm like, no, Law Chad is gonna stay with me, and you can have weekends. And you like whatever. And that's how it is for 6 months. Unless that kid, our Law Chad is not doing very well in school, or is struggling emotionally,
Y'all have
or
established.
running away. We have an established status quo.
Right.
And in order to change that, it's going to take a substantial change in circumstances. So unless you act quick to get an order entered, you're going to set yourself up for failure, because you know the judge is going to say, well, I don't see any reason to change it. Law Chad's doing great. You waited too long.
Right.
But you file immediately. I say you can't see your kid except for every weekend. Okay. Don't call the police. Call a lawyer. File a complaint. The lawyer's going to file a lawsuit that says Chad and Lawrence are, competent, fit parents. They both live in the same community. They both have work schedules.
Right.
They're both. It's in the best interest of Law Chad that Lawrence and Chad have equal time. You file that complaint. That is pending. That's not going to be held against you because you're proactive. So when you get to court, you can go to court quickly and get a temporary order if the case time allows. If the courtroom is available. It's tough during the COVID, but that's not going to be held against you if it takes 2 years that you get heard.
Okay.
So you acted quickly. You didn't just become apathetic. So now you were proactive. The judge said, well, it is in the best interest. We can't have an uncle. Chad can't be an uncle to his own kid. He can't be a weekend warrior. He deserves, and his kid deserves equal time with their parents.
Right.
But you wait 6 months. Or you wait until, the parent goes and goes to child support, gets some food stamps, and next thing you know, child support has to file child support against you. They're going to be, well, wait a minute, you didn't even take any actions for custody until you got child support papers.
Right.
It's obvious what's going on here. So don't wait. Call a lawyer.
Cool.
At least get a consult.
It wasn't deadly 7, but we got 5 do's and 5 don'ts.
Yeah.
Right.
We gonna leave it there, fellas?
Long as we appreciate LT, we appreciate you joining us.
For sure.
Inviting us down here in Lewisburg.
We had some technical
Shout out
difficulties
to
today.
We did.
Corey Johnson.
Oh,
Definitely.
no doubt.
Yeah.
LCJ7.com. Y'all go donate to that for sure.
Okay.
Corey Johnson. When I first went to read was Corey Johnson. That's how I used to say, my name is Corey Johnson. What's y'all name?
R.I.P. to that cat.
I said, my name's Tickle. They call me LT. Tickle, I'm going to call you Tinkle Winkle. He called me Tinkle Winkle. I'd run to him back home. Tinkle Winkle, what are you doing? What are you doing, man? What are you doing?
Good cat, man.
Yeah, if you ever be missed.
Most definitely.
Sure.
Most definitely.
So, yeah. We gonna wrap it up?
That's it, man.
That's it. Appreciate your time.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
Lawrence Tickle on YouTube. You can look him up. We got what? You said 3 videos on there?
3 for now.
3 for now.
Because I have adopted 3 kids and had a baby. So 1 pandemic, 4 kids, and time is.
If you get in any trouble within the 5 counties,
let us know where you at.
Just Franklin County.
Oh, just Franklin County. Oh, well,
Yeah.
just Franklin County. He don't want that bag outside of Franklin County.
Unless it's a hit and quit, you know what I mean? Unless it's a one-time thing, I'm going up there, you're gonna pay me, $1 grand, I'm gonna go do it. I'll do it. And it's gotta be
I
like
heard that.
around here.
Okay.
Fellas, did he say something?
Boy, you
Boy, you
said
said
something.
We out, holla.
Thanks for joining.
Boom. All right, go ahead and kill it on there. Got to stop it on the thing. Curfew. We were joking about that on the way up here. What is that?